Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Mrs. Bandu's Math Movies. This is Lesson 6-8 for Course 2, 4th period, finding percent of change. So we're going to find percents of increase and percents of decrease and actually use those in real-life situations. Okay? So, first of all, we're going to start out with some vocab here. The percent of change is the percent, a quantity, increases, or decreases from its original amount. Okay? A markup is the difference between the selling price and the store's cost of an item. Generally, a markup is going to be a percent increase because the store increases the amount they pay for something to what they're going to charge you. That's how they make their money, or one of the ways, or the big way anyway. A discount is the difference between the original price and the sale price of an item. Okay, so the original price is generally what I think of as, okay, what did it start out with on the price tag? And then the sale price is, wow, when you get it on sale, what did you actually pay for it? Discount is a percent decrease because it's actually going to save you some money, basically. For those of us that like to shop, we know that. Okay, so let's look at a few examples. Generally, what we want to think about is anytime we're doing percent of change, I'm going to write a ratio up here. Percent of change in general equals the amount of change, so how much did the number change, divided by the original amount. In other words, where did you start out, or where did it start out? So again, this is another one, a general format is helpful to know when you're doing these kinds of problems. Okay, so let's get started. Finding a percent of increase. And an increase simply means that it went up. So that's a common sense part of this. Okay. Last year, a school had 632 students. This year, the school has 670 students. Find the percent of increase in the number of students. Okay, so first step is to find out the amount of the change, which will be the top number in my ratio. Okay, so 670 minus 632 is 38. Okay, so write a proportion. Let n equal the percent of change. So I'm doing this in a proportion so that I can get a percent answer. But here is the amount of change. Here I want to put in the original amount. So last year, before the change took place, there were 632 students. Okay, so, and again, we can solve this by doing cross products. 38 times 100 is 3,800. Okay, and that's what this is in here. You don't really, I'm going to scribble this out because this gets a little confusing. But 38 times 100 is 3,800. And then you're going to divide by 632 because it's the missing number. Okay? And to find the missing number. Its partner is the missing number. Let me repeat again. You're going to do cross products here. So 38 times 100 gives you the 3,800. Then you're going to divide by 632 because n is its partner, and that's going to help you find your answer. So this gives me 6.0126. So, and that's a number. So we would say that the number of students increased by about 6%. Okay? Again, this is just showing you the algebraic steps. If you like using them, you can. Remember, on proportions, I allow you guys to kind of skirt that just a little bit. So, you just got to write out what you're doing so I can understand it. And we'll talk a little bit more about this in class as well. But again, our answer here is going to be a percent, so we want to be sure that we put a percent sign on our answer when we are finished. Okay, let's look at our next example. And this is finding a percent of markup. Okay, so basically you want to find out what percent did the store mark up the price. Okay, so we want to find the percent of markup for a car that a dealer buys for $10,590 and sells for $13,775. Okay. So again, we're going to find the amount of the markup. Remember, a markup is a change. It's going up. So I'm going to subtract the two values and I get 3,185. So 13775 minus 10590 is 3,185. Okay, my proportion is 3,185, the amount of the change, over the original cost, or the cost to the store of $10,590. Okay, so this would be the store's cost. So again, I'm going to do my cross products. 3,185 times 100 is, and then 10,590. I'm going to go ahead and write out the cross products here. What happens again, though, is you take 3,18500 and you divide by 10,590. Again, this is algebraic. You could do it non-algebraically by writing out your work. N is about 30, so the percent markup is about 30%. And markup would then be, remember, is an increase because this is what the dealer bought the car for. He increased the price to this amount. And lastly, we have finding a discount. A discount is a savings, so it is a decrease to the cost. So find the percent of discount for a $74.99 tent that is discounted to $48.75. So $74.99 is the original price, and $48.75 is the sale price. Okay, so what we want to do, first of all, is find out how much money did you save. This will be your savings in dollars and cents. Okay, so when you subtract $74.99 minus $48.75, you get $26.24. Okay, so that's the amount of change. The original price, because that's where it's starting out, goes here of $74.99. So again, you're going to do your cross product, $74.99 times N, to $26.24 times 100. Basically, what you end up doing is taking 2624 and dividing by $74.99. Again, this is worked out with the algebra. If you don't do the algebra, I've basically told you what your numbers should look like. What will happen here, and I'll just do it off to the side because these numbers are a little bit larger. 2624 after you multiply by 100, and then you're going to divide by 74.99. Okay, so N is about 35. So the percent discount on the tent is about 35%. So that's your amount, the percent of savings. Not the dollar amount, but the percent of it. Percent of savings over the original price. Okay. All right. Couple of more quick checks after this. Have these done, ready for discussion. Just keep in mind that basically your process is the same. You find out how much change took place by subtracting the second amount from the first amount, or the largest subtracted by the smallest, all right? That gives you your top number. And your original amount is always, where did it start out? And use that in your proportion with N over 100 for the percent, and you can go from there. We can also talk about some variations on this in class as well. See you soon. Bye now.